Hey everybody, so welcome to my new series, video series, starting called Tarot Secrets Revealed. I found that many of my clients have learned or want to learn tarot on their own, so I thought, you know what, let me share some of my secrets with you. And you're going, well, what secrets? Where do you get your information from? That's the first thing you want to know in information in this information era, is because it's like you read an article on Facebook and it sounds crazy and you're like, where did that article come from? So I'm going to share with you where I'm getting my information from. Sorry, I'm clearing this out because it's my future visual aid. Okay. Number one, I met a girl who learned how fortune telling from her family on the female line. Doesn't have to be on the female line. This is just what I learned. So it was information passed down from her aunt to her grandmother, to her grandmother, and her grandmother, and her grandmother, going back as long as the family can remember. This is something they've kept secret in the family. It's something that they do not tell other people about. They haven't opened a fortune-telling business, okay? They look at this information as very private and very sacred. However, because of a bond or a connection that I shared with this person, she felt like she wanted to share this information with me. That's where I'm getting my information, number one. Number two, I'm getting it from simply experience, okay? This is the experience I've had over the last 10 years. Not that I've done this full time the last 10 years, on and off the last 10 years. Dealing with reading fortune tellings. I used to read playing cards, and then I graduated to tea leaves, and then now I'm mostly interested in tarot and oracle cards. The first thing that you want to learn is what divination is. Basically, divination, what does that word even mean? So I'm going to go to Google really quick, okay? Google, define divination.
Here's the definition of divination. The practice of seeking knowledge of the future or the unknown by supernatural means.
Supernatural. Just think about that, okay? It's natural to want to know the future. It's human to want to know the future. If you're working with the right intention, and if you are working with the right energy, you are going to get the information that the person you're reading the future for is able to hear, okay? That's all about setting your intention and working with white magic or white light, okay? So those are both two separate videos, okay? So let's just move past that. Let's say that we've set our intention and we're working with the right energy. Okay, how do you divine a card? How do you divine anything? So as I was thinking about this video, it reminded me, actually I've thought about this before, when I grew up in the 80s, and so we would actually, me and my girlfriends, every time we were given an apple, we would go, ooh, let's find out who our future husband is, right? And so what we would do is we'd take the stem of the apple and we twist it, and we'd say the ABCs. We go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and whenever the stem actually broke, we could say, ooh, it's F for Frank, or E for Ethan, or G for George. The reason I'm giving you those words is because I don't know a stem strong enough, although you might find one that makes it all the way down to Samuel or even Zachary. So those poor boys, okay, were probably overlooked. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so what I'm telling you is, as a child, I was already practicing divination as a game for fun. It really didn't mean anything. I wasn't pulling into some mysterious energy at the time. It was just fun. And it was just a way, and I always kind of knew it was goofy and probably not real, but it was just a really fun way to play with your girlfriends and then make fun of them, you know. Like if it was Frank, we would be like, ooh, Frank's going to be your future husband, and look at him, he's over there picking his nose, or whatever it was, because you know how you are when you're a girl. You don't know what you want. You're totally confused. This is, you know, that time when we were like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, whatever. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. It's just that I'm just letting you know. First of all, it's natural. Secondly, I even did it as a child without even realizing it. It was just a silly game. Now, There are games that we don't want to play, but I'm just telling you, this came out of innocence and it was fun. It was literally just the twisting of an apple. There are so many ways to divine the future. You can use playing cards, tarot cards, oracle cards. You can also use tea leaves, a scrying bowl. You can use, I guess, a magic ball, like a crystal ball. I've never tried that before, but I really want to. Some people just looking down into water and let their visions rise to their mind from the water. Some people use ruins, okay, or the I Ching. Anyway, or they'll just throw out rocks and bones or whatever. That's more voodoo style where they'll throw it out and they can read from the bones. These are all different tools, what I call tools of divination, right? So that is basically the very simplified version, though, of what divination is. It's simply figuring out the future using supernatural means. It's very natural, okay? Let's talk about divining rods. So you guys know what divining rods are. I don't have any, but you guys know what I'm talking about. They're those two little metal things, and they'll like crisscross like this, or they'll point downward. I think they were originally used to find water, like in a dry area. They would literally use divining rods as energy, basically the energy to find out where the water is, to find out where they should dig their well. I don't know if that science has been proven or not, or if that even worked. Like I said, this information comes from experience, okay? So don't hold me up. I'm not a Wikipedia, okay? I'm just talking about divining rods. I've also noticed on the ghost hunter TV shows and with ghost hunting that they've been using divining rods to allow spiritual beings or energy to communicate with them by holding them up, asking questions, and watching them move, okay? So I want to talk to you today about how to use your 10 fingers to divine the future with cards. So my favorite cards to use to divine future is really going to be an oracle deck because it takes a little time, and I would prefer to shuffle when I'm using a playing card. I'll shuffle, right? Or I'll well, there's 500,000 different ways to shuffle. But to divine a card, and some of you might have noticed in some of my readings, I'll say, I'm going to divine this card. I actually do it pretty quickly. This is how I divine a card, okay? I just go like this. And here's my card, right? Pretty simple, right? It could all be fake. I could just be like, you know, you see those fortune tellers and their eyes are rolling in the back of their head on the babies, and they're just like, whatever. Whatever. Anyway, here's how you divine cards using your fingers as divination tools and divination rods, okay? So let me put this down, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so you guys, if you don't have cards, just grab a plain old playing deck, okay? Grab a plain old playing deck. Ask a question, and ask just a yes or no question, and you can say, if the card is red, the answer is yes. If the card is black, the answer is no. That's just a super watered down, super simple way to do this. If you have an oracle deck, try an oracle deck, whatever, whatever have you, okay? Take your deck, all right? This is how I started doing it. I've now changed to adjust because I'm very organic, and this is that's what works for me. This is how I started, okay? So you're going to take your cards and you are going to spread them out as best you can. Depends on the paper, how easy it is to spread them out, but you're going to spread them out as best as you can. I don't know if you guys watch Penny Dreadful on TV. Penny Dreadful used divination to pull her tarot cards. I think it is an older method. This is how I was taught, okay? All right, so you've got your cards spread out. Now you're going to simply put your hands over your cards, and you're going to close your eyes. The reason you're going to close your eyes is because the less senses, the more senses that you are actually able to shut down, the more you can focus on energy or the energy that's going to come from the cards. I want to tell you how it works for me and how I was taught. It feels electrical, or it feels tingly, okay? Now, if you hold your hands up like this, because this is a very strange way to hold your hands, like we're not used to doing this, you're going to get some tingles that come from nerve endings because you're holding your hands like this, and that's just normal to get these little tingling sensations. What I want you to look for is not a tingling sensation that goes anywhere from here to here. What you're going to want to find is a tingling sensation from the tips of your fingers only, from the tips of your fingers only, okay? Because if it's a shooting of your nerve, of just your nerves from just the way you're holding your hands, okay, then it's going to come all the way down, right? So what you're looking for is a little shot of energy from the tips of your fingers. Now, also keep this in mind. This could take you 30 minutes to an hour, okay? Sorry, I'm coming down into the camera to emphasize this, okay? It could take you a minute. It could take you 30 minutes, all right? Take as long as it takes, okay? If you want to actually do this for real. If it doesn't ever happen, if you feel no tingle, then no worries. Just try it tomorrow. Not a big deal. Take a break. Do something else. Grab a different deck of cards. What have you. No worries. Everything takes practice. I can now divine a card pretty quickly if I'm in a meditative state. Again, meditative state, different video. So here we go. How to divine a card. Run your fingers across and look for the tingles from the tips of your fingers. A lot of times it will feel like your fingers want to go down, or you will feel a shot of energy, like electrical energy coming from the cards up into the tip of your fingers. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so this finger right here, is wanting to go down. So I think I'm looking somewhere in this area. Okay, now here's my card. Now when I touch this card, there's another one underneath it. Do I want to go underneath? Just ask yourself, do I want to go underneath? I think in this case, no. So I'm going to, what I mean by underneath is pulling a card underneath. Like, you see, this is 2 cards here. I wanted to touch this card on top, but you may actually want the card underneath. Just go with your gut on that, okay? So this is the card that I pulled, the Wild. This is the card that I pulled, 11. So, my dears, that is divination, okay? I hope you enjoyed this video and that you had fun practicing with it. Lots of love and lots of light. Let me know in the comments below if you like this video and if you want to learn more about fortune telling. Thanks.